Here's to you, dear listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Metal Gear Monday's Revengeance. Now, it's starting to feel a little haunted in the hallways of MGM as we continue our Halloween mini-season, which we'll be releasing in addition to our regularly scheduled programming. I'm your host, Warren Minix, and with me, as always, are my two co-hosts, our station commander of U.S. Outpost 31, Mr. Chris Hampton. How we doing, bud?
What's up? How's it going?
Always ready to go.
Has anyone seen Baguette?
Oh, yeah. Is Baguette okay?
Oh, no.
And of course...
Wait, stop the podcast. No. We have to check on Baguette right now. If there's one thing I've learned.
Hashtag find Baguette.
Baguette.
Just hear... I want to hear the chains. Uh-oh.
I see him.
Do you see the Twizzlers coming out?
Yeah, he's right here.
And of course...
Twizzlers.
Yeah. There's always the person you want to have as your friend when you're on an Antarctic outpost, the helicopter pilot. Our MacReady herself, Miss Tori Cortez. How we doing?
Fuck.
You don't have anything, do you?
It's the worst. It's the first week of winter. God damn it.
She's got quotes, everybody. I'm liking it.
Sometimes I'm on top of this shit. Thank you for making me the MacReady of the intro, by the way. I feel so flattered.
Yeah, of course. You're definitely our MacReady. I mean, I wouldn't consider myself the MacReady. Now, we're not alone.
I beg to differ, but...
Oh, thank you. Well, that was sweet of you. So we're not alone on this journey tonight. We have a special guest from BingeMedia, Mr. Jack Falvey. How we doing tonight, Mr. Jack?
Hey, how's it going? Glad to be here.
Cool, man. So if I were to say anything, I would say Jack would be our Blair. He'd be our senior biologist if I had to make a judgment call on him.
I want to come inside. I'm all better now.
Yeah. Yes. It's not bad. That's a pretty good impression.
Jack, out of curiosity, where are you geographically?
I am in Rhode Island.
Okay. So, Warren, I guess that would make you the closest. So, just keep your eyes out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, I'm going to have to. So, of course, we are going to talk tonight about the movie John Carpenter's The Thing. So, before we get started, though, Chris, is there anything you want to get just swept under the rug before we move on to some of our content?
Yeah, listen, I got a bone to pick.
Oh, boy.
No.
It's the angriest Chris has ever been on
That's
mic.
all I'm going to say. Wear a mask.
Yeah, no shit, dude.
Yeah.
It'll probably still be relevant when this comes out.
Yeah.
Wear a mask.
Maybe we can stop the spread of the thing.
Not bad. Hey, this is relevant. Tori, do we have our random patron shout out for our episode?
You know it.
All right, let's do it. Let's get your sophisticated system out.
Well, since it's spooky month, I figured I'd switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
Mostly because I was getting tired of the same old intro, so bear with me for a second. I'm still picking your name out right now.
I feel the winds of Antarctica sweeping.
It's going to be minus
over
100
my
if we don't
face.
get this going.
Well, wouldn't you know it? It's Mr. Killer Seymour.
Hey!
Wow.
Killer Seymour. Oh, boy.
Seymour
Warren,
is a
do
relatively...
you know him?
I'm close friends with Mr. Seymour, yes.
What is that called? Nepotism. I call nepotism
Hey,
even though
you
it was
did
me
it.
who
I
did the
didn't
name.
pick him. But hey, I got to say, I'm going to give him props. When we did our Discord stream for Oxenfree, we ran 5 hours straight, and it wouldn't have been possible without him basically handling the technical. So I had Gig on the sticks, handling the voice. I was doing commentary / getting beers for everyone, being the guy that already played the game to help if we got stuck on a puzzle or something. And Seymour made sure that everything was running properly so that when I sent it over, it was nice and crisp with proper video and audio quality, because I have no idea how to do that stuff yet. So,
Right
Jack.
on. Thanks, Seymour.
Yeah, Seymour, you're the
Also-
best, dude. Oh, God.
Also, 2 seconds before we move on from that, just want to say that Killer Seymour has been with us since August, and yeah, he's been lighting up our Discord channel.
Oh, yeah.
So
Super active.
thanks
you
for
might want
joining
to
in on
tone
the
it down there a
conversation.
bit, Killer Seymour.
There we go.
Hey, that was out of Chris's mouth, not mine.
Don't run in the hallways, kids.
Now, Jack, before we
Yeah.
get started, and I'll have a little thing before we get going here, but you are from BingeMedia, and that's how I know you.
Mhm.
We are good friends based on our meeting through BingeMedia. You personally host 2 podcasts, at least from my knowledge over the years of listening, that I would say are consistent. The 2 I would like to hear a little bit about, for at least what listeners that are listening to this would know what to expect. You have Movie Homework, and then you also have Wake and Bake with Bob Ross.
Sure.
So feel free to take a couple minutes, let the listeners know what they would be in store for if they were to chime into either of those podcasts.
So I'll start with Movie Homework first. So Movie Homework, it's basically this show. We have another show on the network called The Aftertaste, and what The Aftertaste is it's sort of a breakdown of franchises. So Nightmare on Elm Street, Star Wars, whatever it is. And, they kind of go movie by movie and they guide you through. And I really liked the format of that. So what I decided to do was take that idea and apply it to something other than a franchise. So,
I love that.
Yeah. So like we'll do a series on, say, a director, an actor, a certain genre, maybe films in the Criterion Collection, whatever that may be. And we sort of take a detailed breakdown of that individual movie. We pull clips, all that kind of stuff. So myself, Alex, and Sierra, who's one of the co-founders of the site, and Chad C., we run that show. And we do a lot with that. And then our other show that I'm really proud of that's been going for a long time is called Wake and Bake with Bob Ross. And the idea is myself and my co-host Kupka, we both wake, he bakes, I have an Irish coffee, and we do a commentary of 2 episodes of Bob Ross's The Joy of Painting. And typically it's sort of a potpourri show. We talk about a lot of different things. Sometimes if it's around Christmas time, we'll trade our Christmas ornament stories and, several other topics that we kind of bounce around. And sometimes it's video games. Sometimes it's just hobbyist stuff. Sometimes it's movie poster art. And just generally whatever Cupcake and I happen to have going on in our lives at that time usually pairs pretty well for that show. So yeah, both of those.
So, Tori, I see a little highlight there.
Thanks, man.
Hop on in. Yeah, go ahead.
Just before we got too much further into it, I did want to make note real quick. One of my good buddies, Morgan, has really gotten me into watching The X-Files, which, as some of you may know, has been around since the 90s. But
oh, yeah.
if you aren't aware yet, it's a tremendous show. It's ridiculous. It's hilarious. It's entertaining, and it has an episode that very, very closely mimics the plot of the movie we're about to discuss. The episode is in season 1. It's episode 8, and it's called Ice. So if, after listening to this episode, you decide you'd like to go check that out if you haven't already, I would highly recommend it.
Fantastic. And
Does
of course,
that mean this movie takes place in the X-Files universe?
I wouldn't doubt it.
maybe we can talk about that towards the end. I'm ready for that. And then, of course, my usual shout out that you guys are starting to get tired of hearing is we obviously do a listener episode at the end of every Metal Gear Solid season, but we're also going to include the spooky season. So if you wanted to talk about Oxenfree, if you want to talk about this movie we're talking about tonight, The Thing, as well as anything from Metal Gear or Metal Gear Solid 3, have your responses in through contact@metalgearmondays.com. Please add a subject line and throw that in by Halloween night at midnight. So October 31st. That way that gives us enough time to rifle through everything and give you guys a proper show when we plan to release that. Without any more ado, I want to talk about John Carpenter's, and I'm going to say it, I don't give a shit what anybody feels, a fucking certified classic, 1982, John Carpenter's The Thing. I'm just going to start way up on the fucking highest mountain. I can safely say this is my favorite horror movie ever made. Straight up.
Whoa.
Fight me is how I feel sometimes when people say
Damn.
it. So,
I don't want to fight you. No.
So just to, no expectations or anything, guys, but I just want to get that out. I feel a lot better because most of the time I catch myself when it comes to horror movies, I'll have, a haunting. Or The Thing's my favorite body horror movie, right? So if they say, well, what about The Exorcist? I was like, well, that's not a body horror movie. That's a possession horror, that kind of movie. So Exorcist is way up on that list too. A creature feature, maybe, so I try to have that. But I think when the dust settles and, little teenage Warren, who lost his fucking mind when he saw this movie, goes and picks up a box, it would be John Carpenter's The Thing.
Damn.
So,
Go ahead. I hate to sidetrack this, but now I'm like curious. What's everyone else's favorite horror movies?
Ooh. Okay,
I
Tori,
might
you
have
look
to
like you're
get-
ready to answer. Oh, you're going to get back to us?
I was just saying I might have to come back to you on that one because now that it is officially spooky month, there's just so many of those happening right now. So I
All
don't
right.
think I can give you an answer to that until maybe the listener episode.
Yeah, maybe we'll make it a PC or something for the Discord if they're interested.
Do you have one off the top of the dome there, Chris?
I would say the movie I find the most horrifying is Candyman.
Fuck yes.
I'm not even
Love
sure
me
I've seen
some
that.
Candyman. Love me some
Oh
Candyman.
shit. That shit will keep you up.
Candyman.
Yeah. Now, Jack, bearing in mind this is recorded, so I'm well aware that you do not have to go to the grave, but do you
Sure.
have at least something that's at the top of mind of like your favorite horror film?
Yeah, I mean, you're asking me an impossible question.
I know.
Yeah,
I know exactly.
I mean, it varies, but like, there's so many good ones. I mean, it's like you said, The Exorcist is an amazing movie. Halloween is an amazing movie. Evil Dead is an amazing movie. Possession is an amazing movie. Like, there's too many. I can make you a list. I mean,
Evil Dead.
Oh, dude, nice.
I've
That's a
never
good.
seen
That's a
Evil
good drop.
Dead.
Never seen Evil Dead? Oh
Yeah,
man.
I've never seen it.
and that's to say nothing of like the horror elements in movies like 2001. You know,
So horrifying.
I like
Particularly
that.
the last 30 minutes.
Alien's really good too.
Yeah.
it's just a tough question to answer.
Yeah. Sure. And everything you said was, I think the
Sure.
latest one you talked about was 84. So like
Yeah.
these are classic films that have clearly stood the test of time for so long.
Yeah, they're great for a reason.
Cool. All right. So good. Now we got future topics. So
And now
I'm
I've
happy.
got things to add to my list of things to watch for this month.
Shit,
Thanks
yeah.
a lot, everyone.
Good.
Didn't have enough of those yet.
Horror season. Oh, Possession
right.
is so good. Possession's great. That's like a good drop, Jack. That's like one of those that's kind of, it's great if you know about it. Sometimes it doesn't make the doesn't make the conversation very much. So now, of course, the movie of the hour, John Carpenter's The Thing, 1982 American science fiction horror film directed by Mr. Carpenter himself and written by Bill Lancaster. It is based on the 1938 novella by John Campbell, Who Goes There? And it tells a similar story, of course, of a group of American researchers in Antarctica who encounter this thing, which they consider a parasitic extraterrestrial life form that assimilates and then imitates other organisms. And then, of course, what my favorite theme is as we go through it, the group is overcome by paranoia, which I love the most as far as the filmmaking. And, of course, they're going to bump heads throughout the rest of the film to essentially what is one of the most argued and debated endings in film history, let alone horror film history. First impressions of the film. So what I want to start with is I know when I had reached out to Jack, he and I think have had a conversation about this movie even in passing. Now, it's my understanding that the other two members on this show have not seen this film before, or at least have a good memory of seeing this film. Was it overhyped in any way prior to watching this outside of me trying to undersell it that it was on Kojima's list?
Let me see. I'll start off. I'll say it didn't really feel overhyped. I thought it was good. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous in places.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it was a very good movie. I was pleasantly surprised. I watched the trailer for the remake prequel, whatever,
Oh boy.
because when I was trying to find it on streaming, that's the thing that popped up.
Of course.
Jack-
And I
Jack's
was like,
just shaking his
is
head
this
vehemently.
like, is this a remake? Because if it was a remake, I was thinking, oh, I'll just watch this instead of the
I would have
thing.
been very upset with
The
you. I would have
original.
been very upset with you, Chris, if you did.
And then like ghosted in on the show as like a funny joke. But I watched the trailer.
Yeah, man. It doesn't merit a watch unless you
It
are
looked
hate
really.
watching it.
I saw the trailer and I saw it was like, okay, this is the trailer told me the plot. It's bad. I don't need to see it.
Beautiful. What about you, Tori? Was it overhyped at all? I tried to like keep it real low to the ground.
No, I don't think it was overhyped. As I told you before our official recording, I recalled about, 20, 30 minutes in that I had, in fact, seen at least part of this movie before. And, it brought back some some memories that I thought were long gone. So I would say that in and of itself made it an effective movie for me, that I could, I don't know, that I could have seen it and forgotten until those memories were unearthed again by watching it again.
Well, this movie has like 10 scenes that make the top 10, classic horror film. Like it just had, every time they make a choice, it's going to be on the list, in my opinion. So what's funny is, before we had really moved into the story, this movie was not considered a success, nor was it even considered a critical success. It was, I guess, before its time, or just sort of beside itself. The expectations were put in the wrong place. I mean, it went up against E.T. in the same year, so it already was sort of set up for failure, hindsight 2020. But at the end of the day, this is like one of the top cult films, and most of those reviewers that sort of dropped a middling review or a mixed to negative review had sort of hopped back and understood that they were just not in the right headspace for the time or whatever it is, but understanding that going back it certainly holds up. And we're almost at 40 years with this movie, and there are still some special effects, in my opinion, that are as good as some of the shit people try to put in movies now. Maybe not all of them, but some of them do still hold up.
Some of it's real bad.
Yeah, of course.
You gotta call that out.
Yeah, oh yeah, and we'll get to there. We'll get to there, because I said, I got it real nice. It's more just to see how we feel about it. So what I love about this movie, I always forget. Same with Predator, which was funny. We were just watching this the other night for prep, and I keep forgetting that they show a UFO flying into the atmosphere of Earth. It's always just dropped in the beginning, just like Predator. Nobody remembers that happens. They just always remember Arnold and Dylan, all that shit. So they drop it off, they go there, and we start the movie is right off, barely any dialogue for the first several minutes, and you have two Norwegian researchers flying a helicopter, shooting a dog, and the dog is just sort of running through. And they're doing their best, they're dropping grenades, they make their way to our U.S. Outpost 31, where we are going to meet our cast of characters, and it turns into... What I do love is they're speaking in Norwegian, so we don't understand that they're basically saying the dog, get the dog, something like that. And we have basically a little mini shootout, and one of the guys blows up the helicopter, and now they are welcoming the dog, which for first-time viewers, you have no idea why the dog would be something anybody's shooting after. What is the deal there? Mm-hmm. And with moving forward, I think going back, I do love even on Movie Homework, Jack, You guys did Smoking Aces for the 2007 thing. I do love let's learn all the characters for the first act of this film, right? I like that a lot. But this movie, in a matter of, 4 minutes, you learn everything you need to know about all of the characters right away, to the point where you don't really know who's the main cast, outside of Kurt Russell being just a presence on his own with that hair and beard. But I love it. You meet Windows, you meet Blair, you meet Bennings, you meet Clark, they're all in there. And then you just have the commander, Gary, and he's the one that shoots the guy in the head. So he's sort of established dominance, but you get to meet everybody. You have Knowles. He's on his, he's roller skating through. So he's talking about, cooking for the night, and you get a really solid camaraderie without having to do the whole hey, Knowles, you're the cook, right? They don't have to do that. They just sort of have everything in front of you. It's a lot of show don't tell, and it really makes me believe that these guys have been sitting and fucking waiting for a week to get any sort of contact with anyone, and they have no fucking clue what's going on. And there's been storms raging, sort of affecting their way to communicate, or the way to get off of the post to reach civilization or do whatever they have to do. And I love just that opening piece. Again, outside of, there's really not as much dialogue as people remember in that first 20 minutes. I mean, it's the first 10 minutes, I think, has 4 lines across the whole thing. And I just love, I can safely say, and we can talk about this, but this is the best setting for a horror movie ever, in my opinion. An abandoned Antarctic outpost. There's no way in or out due to Mother Nature or one guy that can fly the plane, right?
Well, I can certainly see why Kojima was so taken with it. I mean, you guys saw the direct influence for Metal Gear Solid 1's base.
It's Shadow Moses.
Right?
It's just Shadow Moses.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. But I love it. And as far as a setting, and I think the cast of characters, you don't know. There's some big names in there, but for 1982, maybe not. So obviously, I think the one that would stand out the most would be Wilford Brimley. I think he's the one that would be like, even Keith David was still, barely Keith David as far as his premiere as an actor.
I recognize Wilford Brimley from those diabetes commercials.
I know, and that's the problem is a lot of people will watch this movie and just be like, "Oh, that's the diabetes guy." I'm like, "Fucking watch the movie, man. He's got some lines in here, like he just is like acting without being an asshole, and he just he brings up his own scenes by doing things." And so good. I can't wait to get to him as we go. So we meet the crew. And obviously, Clark is the one that is the dog handler. So you have to have the guy that sort of handles that. So they talk to Clark. They set up, what are we going to do with the bodies? What are we going to do? Where were they from? They have like a running joke that Kurt Russell fucking calls them Swedish, but they're Norwegian. And they keep sort of back and forthing with that. Our introduction to fucking MacReady is he's playing chess, digital chess, which is so futuristic. And he takes the J&B and he just fucking pours it into the machine. And just is like, fuck you.
It's the most overreaction type reaction I've ever seen to anyone losing a chess match. Oh, and
It's
by
like-
the way, can we talk about how wasteful that is?
Yeah, he just blew up
Sure.
a computer.
I was talking about
Yeah.
the whiskey,
in
but yeah.
Antarctica.
Yeah, that
the
too.
whiskey's the more valuable part to Tori.
Right. But he blew up a computer because he lost to it or something. And this is like the most like 80s stereotype macho kind of film trope I can think of.
Sure.
To be
yeah.
fair, though, he's
Fuck
not going to
this
be playing a
computer.
lot of chess
Yeah,
after
I'm
this.
pretty sure it's a reference to the end of the movie, though, too. I just can't remember exactly why. Yeah,
Oh,
there's
boy.
something
I don't have that too.
something about playing chess, I think.
Worst case,
Yeah, let me.
you want to do it? Yeah. You want to do some research? Because I was going to say, leave it to the Discord and our listeners. They will find it.
I think it might be. Yeah. I feel like there's something else with the chess game, though, or like an error with somebody playing. You know what?
Yeah, because
Oh.
he does claim that as he's pouring it in
Yeah, he
to the
says
computer,
like,
doesn't it?
cheating son of a
Yeah.
bitch or
Yeah.
something.
He calls it out.
But you know what? I might be confusing two different movies now. I'm pretty sure I am. I'm pretty sure in 2001: A Space
Of course you are.
Odyssey, they're playing
Yeah.
chess, and there's like an illegal move that Hal makes, and he says checkmate, and the astronaut doesn't pick up on it, so it's like an allusion to the fact that the AI is going rogue. I think this is just the stalemate that Chris mentioned.
And probably a reference
Or-
to 2001 as well.
Exactly,
Could be.
In itself,
exactly.
Could be.
probably.
I was going to say
something like
there's a lot of those now that I've seen the movie and like my early 20s. I'm catching more and more
Sure.
references to it just
Sure.
about everywhere.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's,
I was
and
gonna
that's some
say
of the best parts. Go ahead,
Maybe
yeah.
it's a reference to the shared whiskey between human and
That's-
non-human
yeah.
at the end.
That's
but-
definitely
Well,
it.
Well,
That's it.
we'll see. That okay, beautiful. That's
Well done.
actually there you go,
Yep.
right in front of us. So the one thing I will throw in when we talk about MacReady, and you're saying macho move, right, Chris? There's a couple of reads as we get through where obviously they're already like sort of shipwrecked. I mean, that's the best way to say it, for 7 days, right? But you even hear, Mac say like, I haven't fucking slept in 2 days, like with all this shit
Right.
going on. So like he's already just fucking doing whatever he's got to do to either, stay up or do it. Because now what they're deciding is, well, what the fuck happened here? There must be another base. So I love that they're smart people, right? So they're scientists, they're biologists, they're engineers, right? They're not just doing, I'm going to go, check the noise out. I'm going to go up the stairs instead of out the front door. They're trying to do, well, what were they going after? Let's go check it out. We can't send everybody, but we'll send more than one person, right, to go check it out. We got to review the find. They go and find the Norwegian base, and they find that big vat, right, that cutout of the ice, which I think is a fucking awesome prop. Like, it just looks so fucking cool in that room, them looking over it like, what the hell happened here? They sort of check maps, right? They find out that, okay, they must have been, they have video of, they're doing a dig here, or they're trying to find something that's at this particular coordinate. They go over, and it's basically the fucking Millennium Falcon. It's basically like this, this giant spaceship sitting in the middle of an ice block, and you can see that they cut out this block of ice. And almost immediately, Mac is just like, well, I guess what it looks like to me is whatever was here, collapsed, froze over. They dug it up, and I don't know about you, but maybe it's not dead, right? Then they walk out and they see what I think is a fucking amazing creature design, as far as just that scorched body, but they realize the whole base has been torched. They're barely finding anything to sort of give them an inkling of what the fuck happened here. And they find this, it basically looks like two people fused together at the face, and then just sort of really extraterrestrial looking creature fucking shit. And they decide to take it back to their base to study it, because this may be the biggest find ever. As far as a act 1, let's get shit going. I don't know about you, but I think that fucking fused creature look still holds up today,
Agreed.
in my opinion. Obviously, after it's supposed to be burnt, it's supposed to be this, but I think there is some shit in Chris, if you had watched 2011's The Thing, nothing in that movie holds up to just this first introduction of this fucking creature. And that's just not even, I don't even have to take a stance. That's just understood.
I like the pacing of it.
Yes.
It's really good and slow. It kind of creeps on you, and I do like that. The face on this creature, though, reminded me of like something from The Wall.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I can see what you mean by that. But I don't know, man. Just the teeth. Like, the teeth are different sizes, and the way they're like bent up. Like, it just looks like it wasn't turned into that. It was, being created. It looks like it was mid whatever, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I really appreciated that as the first kind of glimpse into what kind of fuckery the Thing is going to get into in this movie. And I liked, as you were saying, Warren, that it looks like it's mid transition there. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, they found this corpse, I guess, in a burn pile, right?
Yes.
So, like, I'm just imagining then, based off of that, this is, mid turning into whatever it's going to turn into. And the fact that it stopped right there to show you two distinct faces, I really thought that was pretty cool. That was a cool effect.
It really sets a bar of what, like, a true what the fuck is going to happen in the rest of this movie, in my opinion. Especially a 12-year-old Warren was like, I've never seen anything like this in my life. And that's, I think, still true to this day, because anything that does this is referencing The Thing or using that as their influence to create their creature or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So now we bring them back. We are back at the base, our base, the U.S. base, and we now have everybody sort of sees what the hell's going on. Clark takes the dog back into the kennel. I love, again, smart people, right? Wilford Brimley is doing, I guess, like an autopsy, just trying to understand. He's saying, like, we have intact organs in here. So something is going on. Like, this is not, like, this should be ruined from inside and out based on this trauma that this thing has gone through. So now they're starting to understand, like, what the fuck is happening here. And we get to one of the grossest scenes, especially what a great, like, fucking just body horror. The dog, our baby boy, which I do love. I saw your note. I love the idea of Superstitious playing in the hallways, and I love just like those long takes of the hallway. How many doors are in the room, the outside, you just see some of the wind flags going, and you see, okay, I got two shacks to the right, a shack to the left, the helicopter's covered in the middle, like, just really good establishing shots of just understanding this is it. Like, we're not going to be running from town and calling the police. Like, we're going to be in that bunker or in this building or flying the helicopter. That's it.
Right.
That's what we're going to do if we're doing anything else in the rest of this movie.
And I will say that
go ahead.
I noted that song playing, not because I thought it was particularly effective. It's a little bit on the nose, but I think that's what added to the charm of this to me. Like, I think if you were paying attention, at this point that the dog is suspicious. And there's going to be some trouble afoot simply because there was a Swede. My bad.
No, Norwegian.
No, I'm just fucking around.
You're macking.
Namely because I'm macking. Is that what you said?
Oh yeah, you're macking.
Namely because, we have a Norwegian ready to kill this dog for seemingly no reason. So if you're any kind of horror movie watcher, that there's something up with the dog, right?
Right.
And so I don't think that the song Superstitious was needed. I think it was a little hand-holdy, but it did make me chuckle a little bit.
Agreed. It is timely, and I do love they do treat it as a moment of, it's like another way, like Fuchs comes in, is like, can you turn that racket down? And All's just like, oh yeah, no problem, and just fucking ignores him and goes right back to what he's doing. Like, it's just super non-moments that they turn into moments for some of these people of like, all right, I'm on Nall's side, fuck the scientist, right? This guy just wants to get his work done. Yeah, Nall's is great. So now we get to the kennel, and I do love the dog walks in. So I had made a joke when we were watching it recently, but I was like, some of the fucking best dog acting ever, right? Like the other like 6 or 8 dogs are in there. They're already uneasy as the dog's walking in. Like, and sometimes it's like, oh, it's new blood, right? Like, okay, maybe they're just trying to tough love him because he's going to be a part of the pack. And, he just whimpers a couple times, and then they go to town on this dog. And the visual effects, like I said, we can make fun of it if we want to, because you can sort of see some of the stuff, but I don't know, man, ripping doing a semi pseudo predator look where it just rips open like a fucking lotus and it just starts squirting shit on things and fucking just the stop motion of fucking tentacles and just Twizzlers are flying out of it and just the grossest fucking
Twizzlers.
It's the tastiest Twizzlers.
Yeah, it's so fucking gross, and you just know that whole kennel is fucked. Like, there's no way any dog is getting out of there, right? And the one dog is like clawing at the fence, and you can see him like slowly ripping apart. Like, it's just great tension for non-human characters, which is sort of like a forgotten, it's kind of like a forgotten art though, where like, The Conjuring, everybody fucking loves that. The dog dies in the first day that they're there, right? They just sort of like, they got to get rid of Sadie or whatever, just who cares? It's the 70s, so pets are, fucking goldfish. But in this, like, they are how they travel. Like, that's a giant problem for them. So we're already there, and they call in, they get everybody, and they sound the alarm, right? And they're like, get the fucking flamethrower. They don't know what to do. Like, how do you defend against whatever the fuck this thing is? And Clark is the first one to see it. Kill it with fire. Exactly. There you go. The Fury coming at you. And
the Fury.
So when we're going through, and I love that Blair has a moment with Clark, right? So the paranoia is setting in right away. Now that they've actually seen something happen, Blair just sort of like looks at what the fuck's going on and is like, Clark, how long were you with this dog? That and he's like, I don't know, an hour, 2, maybe, 9, and he's like, okay, well, you didn't notice anything suspicious about this, like, and it's just a fucking seeping pile of crazy shit. And Clark's like, no, I didn't notice anything. And you can see, like, again, Wilford Brimley fucking, I don't want to say masterclass, but he fucking knows exactly what to do with so few of just an eye twitch, or like you can see like he's thinking about what the fuck is going on, because he's one of the scientists. That's like his whole job, right? Mm-hmm. And I love his just like, okay, like you're just trying to process it, but you already know that Blair's gonna be fucking figuring something out, right? So that's a big one for me, and that's where that theme that I do think tends to get forgotten is how well I think personally this movie does sort of the paranoia theming, as well as we start to talk about some of these other kills. Every time they show a group shot and get like a wide of everybody in it, there's always someone missing from the group every time. Mm-hmm. And it's always someone different. Sometimes it's Palmer, sometimes it's Fuchs, sometimes it's Knowles. And I was watching it with a friend of mine who had not seen it before, but he remembered enough of it, and he would sit there and he's like, all right, I know the ending of this movie, so like walk me through this. Like, what makes this interesting for you? And they show a scene and I'm like, where's Fuchs? And he's like, fuck, I didn't even realize Fuchs isn't there. I'm like, yeah, exactly. And he's like, but is he dead? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Do you know? And he's like, oh, I like this movie a lot.
Yeah, one of the things that's great about this is how the movie is all about like mistrust. It's like a base level fear that people have, and that paranoia you're talking about. It's part of what makes the movie last as long as it has, I think. Gives it some staying power, gives you more to think about, because all the best horror movies are always like base level fears. Frankenstein's fear of the other, Dracula was fear of like an STD, zombies are fear of people, and that really elevates this movie and makes it, I think, a lot more special than, some other movies in the genre. Like I said, gives us some staying power, some lasting power, and keeps it interesting over the years.
How you doing, old boy?
I don't know who to trust.
I know what you mean, Blair. Trust's a tough thing to come by these days.
Tell
Tell you what, why don't you just trust in the Lord?
Definitely. And they even do something along the lines of where we see the dog walk into the room and there's just a silhouette of someone in the room. You have an idea because he's got curly hair, but you don't actually know who sort of messed with that dog. And they eventually establish that if that thing is in a room alone with someone for an undisclosed amount of time, they're replicated. They're done. Doesn't matter. So now we can just sort of start just barreling through because now we've set the stage. We know everything we have. So now Blair does another follow-up on like just what the fuck happened with this creature. And he's now saying like he can so quickly, which again, I trust him because it's fucking Wilford Brimley killing it in this movie of just like, it appears to be imitating, and you can see the other dog inside this creature. I fully, like, you see the fur, you don't see it ripped apart. Like he was imitating these he was going to create himself to basically assimilate in and, take us all over. Like he just believes it. And they show that dope ass 1982 cellular, it's going to slowly assimilate, and it's just like generic text, like I love 80s. Like 80s tech is way better than like early 2010s tech, in my opinion. Like what they want to show is like fancy looks so dumb now versus back then, because it's just still it's just the information you need. It's not all a bunch of bells and whistles.
Oh, yeah, everything's holograms now.
Exactly, yeah. Smart tables. So, all right. So now we can start getting wild because now it's theory time. Whenever we want, we can always see how we feel about. So, like, first off, we don't have to go into it, but the first thing they do, again, setting it up. So Wilford Brimley he's going fucking batshit crazy, right? So they know that burning it seems to work because they established that they burnt the whole place down, so that should help as far as what's going on. Wilford Brimley loses his shit, takes the gun. He's like banging up all the communications. He's just like, he is basically establishing like it can't get out. So we can't get out. That's it. Like, stop trying to reach people. There's no fucking way. It'll be world annihilation. And I think it was like 2,600 days. The whole world dead if this thing exists. And some people chalk it up to he's already a thing. Some people chalk it up to he is, doing the logical thing. Like a robot would just do. Like if you had to do the same simulation 9,999 times, you would fucking just kill everybody at the camp. Like that's just what you do. So again, we don't have to decide on what we think. It's just that is sort of a concept. Personally, I just think he's going batshit crazy. I don't think he's taken over at that point. I think it is just him just being overwhelmed with something he can't understand because he's the guy that fucking understands everything. At least in mind, he's seen something he's never understood before, and he doesn't know what to do except take the information in, which is pretty fucking dope. So then they figure it the fuck out. They lock him away, right? So now they're like, who's in charge? How do we make these calls? And of course, the dopest guy in the room, the helicopter pilot. Everybody should be friends with a helicopter pilot because how the fuck are you going to get off this place if you don't know, if you kill the guy that flies the plane? So they lock Wilford Brimley away, and they come back. And now they're starting to understand. Again, this is where they set up. We already know someone's been taken because we saw the dog go into a room. We don't know who that person is. We never really actually know the way the movie's shot. You can make your own opinions. And this is where they start to slowly set up. So they're fighting back. The corpse isn't dead. So they have Bennings, who's one of the scientists, one of the doctors, and you have Windows. They're sort of like moving everything in. They want to keep it, but they got to lock it in storage. You notice that the creature sort of has like a tentacle coming out. It's starting to bleed. So obviously it's not completely dead. And Windows walks away for 2 or 3 seconds. And I love this little moment in the helicopter where Fuchs sort of pulls in Mac to say like, I kind of trust what Blair's saying. We might need to fucking do something about this. Windows runs out, comes back in, and Bennings is already getting assimilated. Like it's got tentacles all over him. He's covered in red, and he's getting pulled in, right? Windows
Thank
runs
God,
out.
because fuck Bennings, guys.
Really?
Fuck
Why
guy.
fuck
Yeah,
Bennings?
fuck,
Please,
he's such
I
an
want to see this.
asshole. He's
Why,
such
though?
a fucking asshole.
Okay,
He's such
so
a grumpy little dick.
so here, here's your soapbox. I'm hammering the final nail in your little soapbox.
Have it out, Tori.
No,
Why-
listen.
so outside
I know they're
of
all
him,
stuck together in fucking Antarctica, excuse me, sorry. And I know he just recently got shot at the beginning of the movie, but he's such a dick, especially to Clark, who is the softest boy, who just wants to have him some dog time, you know, and he's got to be such an asshole about the goddamn. Listen, I was not sad when Bennings was the first. Was he the first to be assimilated technically that we see on screen?
That we see on screen, yes.
Okay. Was not sad to see Bennings go first. That's all I'll say. Even though I've just spoken for a whole minute on why I fucking hate Bennings.
But I love, okay, so then right after this scene, though, they come back, he's gone, right? They see the broken window, and this is where, like, now we understand it's out, right? So they find Bennings sort of, like, stumbling out in the middle of the base, and they find him, and he's got, like, these crazy gangling hands, so it hasn't completed its assimilation, but we see how quick it really takes. I mean, they set the time, it's, what, 5 minutes? Maybe 8 minutes to get him, and he just does that fucking crazy scream. Oh, it's amazing. I was worried. I was like, is he fucking getting more of these? Like, is that what that's doing?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, like, at the time. But I love they just, like, fucking torch it. We don't even look at it. He just knocks the fucking barrel over and just lights that motherfucker on fire. And
Bye, Bennings.
they have some amazing fire stunts in this shit too. I love a fucking fire stunt, and they got like 2 or 3 that are like top 10 as far as like if I had to make a list. So now we're starting to like, okay, now it could be anybody, right? And I love the watch Clark, watch him close. Like they go to Wilford because they're trying to figure out, okay, we're gonna, we got to start figuring out what the fuck's going on here. Like Blair had a point, but like we got to do something. And the fucking delivery of that is, Jack, you had sort of made a joke about it when we were recording. It was just like, I'm fine now. I'd like to get back inside, and
I'm all better now.
He's so good. And I just love when he just does the walkout and he just goes, watch Clark, watch him close. And I was like, I believe him. Like, I think he is, like, I think he's a human at this point. I'm like, fuck, he's, maybe he noticed something.
Yes, but that is what an assimilated being would say.
Exactly.
To cast
and
suspicion.
We're learning this. This thing is, very clever as we move forward. So, yeah, go ahead.
Is it confirmed that anybody who is assimilated, that they actually speak at any point?
No. Confirmed, no. The only thing I would say is, by the time we get to like the legendary blood scene, it has to be Palmer or the guy that has the heart attack. I feel bad that his name is Norris, I think his name is. It has to be Palmer or Norris that are assimilated, and they have full conversations. And like Palmer constantly goes like, I'm not going out there, or I'm not doing this, or like I'm going with Childs. Like, why can't like they have like a lot of discussion, not a ton, but enough to just, you don't know who it is. The only reason why I personally think it's Palmer, as far as theory of who the dog got. But they do sort of show that Norris does not talk much at all.
Now, let's not forget the conversation that the dog had in the kennel with the other dogs. I don't think that should be discounted.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. There is definitely some sort of...
no, I'm just sticking around. Don't take that seriously, Warren.
But,
come on.
Oh, man. When fucking Blair puts that axe, when you see the axe in the dogs, oh, man, fucking brutal. But I think you're right, Jack. If it is, I think that's the predominant reason why people think it's Norris, because he doesn't really say anything. A lot of times he's just standing there. A lot of times he maybe gestures. I don't think he actually says anything. So if I were to like make a push for it, I think it's him. It's just the only thing that makes it odd is his death is a heart attack. So. And we don't know if it's because maybe he already had a faulty heart, so a thing can assimilate a faulty heart, and eventually the stress would have just won anyway. So I guess that's up in the air. So as we're starting to fight back again, so now Norris has a heart attack, and they bring him out. They want to take care of him, right? So the doctor's trying to get the George Clooney heart paddles. He's trying to do the right thing, try to take care of him. And this is where I just thought okay, now we're getting fucking in it, right? But they fucking triple down. He fucking goes to defibrillate him. His fucking chest opens up, bites his fucking arms off. Like, And his head they start to burn him, but his head is detaching from his body. Green tendrils and like Nickelodeon gack is sort of coming out there, and it's fucking falling down. His like the body of the doctor that was taking care of him jumps up. He's fucking got like this big spinal cord with spider legs screaming at him, and they fucking torch it. It's amazing. No one's ever done anything like this, and it never
Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but this is maybe the part where you were saying,
Yeah. Yeah, this is like where I think the blood scene, I was like, okay, you jumped the shark.
Oh, no,
It's
not the
like-
blood scene. You think the blood scene, like where they're testing?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're not. We're almost there. That's
We're
where
almost there.
that's your moment? You think that?
Oh.
Oh,
That's-
man. Chris, we're going to have to talk on
Just
this
like
pod.
the effects were like, I don't know.
all right,
about
we'll just cut this
this.
part. Sorry I asked.
No, I'm not cutting.
Yeah.
Chris is. We're gonna dwell on this, and I want the listeners to dwell on this with him.
Yeah.
So now it's just to the point where half the team is fucking dead or assimilated or both at this point. So we get to the point where again I'm ready to move into this scene because in my opinion the score is incredible. They're starting to Nightfall starting to drop. They have that amazing score.
Even
the
though
combo.
it's winter in the Antarctic region, is that a thing?
I guess, but they don't necessarily say it's winter per se. They just say that
He
storms are
does.
rolling in.
He does at the very beginning
first
of
week
the
of
movie.
winter. First week of winter.
MacReady.
You're right. That's true. But they do mention like, hey, it's -40 standard, drops to -100 if we don't have generators. Shit's happening, and the line of there's a few good lines as we get there, but we are. So now it's to the point where MacReady is just like, we have to just go full utilitarianism, right? Like we just have to go like, I'm making the calls. You two are going here. You two are going here. We fucking have to. And they're outside after they torch everything that just happened, what we just talked about. And I love the fucking line of, all right, I know I'm human, right? And I know that if all of you were things, you would just kill me. So some of you are human too. So let's fucking figure this out, right? The one doctor has an idea for a blood test. They check. The blood bags are fucking sabotage. Only 2 people really have access to that. So it has to be one of those 2, right? We have no fucking idea. They do all of that. They set it up. Now they're trying to figure out how can we resolve this without the smartest person in the room as far as coming up with the test. So Fuchs is the one that is, he's saying, well, maybe we should eat from cans. We have to do something, we have to be smart about this. If we're going to stay out the night or the week or whatever it is. And they come up with the test. And I got to say, Chris, this might be like an all-timer scene of just the tension of they're cutting everybody. Of course, Windows does a terrible job of cutting, like how cuts their thumbs. It's a little silly, but they make all this stuff. And he basically says, like, it should react. Like, it always defends itself. Whereas blood is blood. It's not an organism moving, like once it's out of our body, whereas when it's from a thing or whatever this is, it does still at a cellular level react and fight back. So he fires up a copper wire, heats it up, and just tries to attack the blood of each person's sample. And I love in the room that they're doing this. They're they show it, they look at the person. It is a little silly that they kind of like Childs is like, oh. And we're like, yeah, Childs, you're not a thing. You don't have to exhale for us. Like, we know that. But catch me up here. Why is this not like, this is like amazing tension in my eyes, Chris. I love every fucking second of this. And the acting is pretty good. So catch me up.
So I love this, the build up of the scene I really like because it reminds me of like Poirot, like everybody get in the room and I will solve the mystery.
Sure. Oh yeah.
And that's like their intent here. But where it jumps the shark for me is the effects. Like,
dude, it's 1982, dude. So what about the
when
effects?
the blood
so,
jumps out of the little petri dish and just like it kind of like screams.
Yeah.
Like a head crab or something.
Yeah, exactly like a head crab. Exactly.
Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
Okay. Did it took you out of the scene though, or just like, all right, it's totally, 82?
I was like, okay, this isn't like serious, but like the tension was really I think the tension was really good up to that point, and then the effect was just like, oh man, that's weird.
I don't even notice that. I'm so engaged. I'm so enthralled with what's happening. And then you fucking find out it's Palmer. And Palmer has been around. Palmer's never been by himself ever. So he's been potentially since the beginning, which a lot of people theorize that Palmer was the one in the room. And he's been the one fucking, sneaking off and taking care of people, which is how Blair would have gotten tackled at that point. So now he's got some dope ass fucking Raiders of the Lost Ark shit going on where he's a fucking wax candle practically and just fucking melting in the blood. He's just trying to rip out of him. He fucking opens up and just fucking two like big giant jaws go over windows and just oh man, he's lifting him up in the background, smacking the ceiling, and there's the other men are tied to a couch, like they can't even move because they're supposed to be getting tested. It's so good. You could, like, at least you show that Kurt Russell, it's not like the shotgun's out of bullets or some bullshit. Like he's trying to figure out, like, Windows isn't the guy that should be holding a flamethrower. Like Windows is the fucking comms guy. He's the guy in the chair. He's not the guy that should be the action hero. So when you see that he isn't using his equipment, Kurt Russell uses, he's trying to shake it up. It's just not burning like it should. He kills it. They move forward. They continue the scene where they check Childs, they check Knowles, and they check Gary. And Gary's fucking delivery of that line where he's the last one checked, and he's like, I think we've gone through enough, and I'd really like to stop being tied to this fucking cow. It's so good. It's so believable though. I love it. It's so well made. And like I said, as far as tension,
sorry Warren, we gotta cue that here.
I know you gentlemen have been through a lot. And when you find the time, I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch!
Oh yeah, we'll definitely get that in. I love that line. Oh, it's so good. So now we're getting to the point where they go to test Blair. Blair's gone. Blair dug underground and has been building a fucking ship to get off this rock, basically. So they make the intent they're going to burn everything down, that, we got to get rid of it. Blair's down there, and I love the line of, all right, we got to find the generator. Let's get it going. And I believe it's Gary, and Gary's like, the generator's gone. And he's like, all right, we'll power it back up. He's like, no, the generator's gone. Like, I'm assuming he put the generator in the ship that he was going to fly or whatever it was. But we're underneath, right? We're underneath everything. And again, I love just like the lights go out. There's just the boom, boom, just a real subtle score. You hear the wind. They show how little you can see. They have flares that they're using to maybe do it. They do say that when Fuchs gets taken over, they don't realize he ran out, but was he chasing something? So they're hoping that he lit himself on fire to stop him from fully assimilating, which is pretty heroic. You get down to the last few guys. We have some pretty dope action stuff. I do love, like, Wilford Brimley stabbing people is pretty fucking cool. I never thought I would see that in a movie, and I love a lot of that stuff. Long story short, we break it down, right? We are getting through some of these final set pieces, and Childs has been gone for 10, 15 minutes of the movie. They see him run off, and someone's like, I think I saw Childs. He's saying he went off because he thought he saw Blair. That happens so many times in the movie where people are supposed to be manning their post and they're trying to do something, but again, it's not because they're dumb. It's because they're trying to do the right thing, because his intent was to stay at the door. Like, I remember my buddy was like, so where's Childs? And I'm like, no, Childs is staying, because what Mac said was, if anybody comes back, if it's Blair without us, kill him. So he's waiting at the door. So if he sees Blair running, that's technically his assignment. It's go fuck up Blair because he's not with us, right? So he's just doing what he's told, essentially. And we get down towards the end of the movie. They've torched everything. They basically just did exactly what the Norwegians did. They burned the entire camp. Mac just accepts his fate. We're skipping a little bit here, but Blair wrecked the tractor. He wrecked the vehicles, the helicopter. He killed the dogs. He smashed communication. He ruined everything. There's no way off this rock, which was his goal initially anyway.
And Warren, why was he damaging the helicopter, the comms?
My personal opinion is because
they showed us, right?
Well, that's the thing, is I don't know if he was a thing at that point. I think that he was. I think his brain was, we have to fucking we're not, if we get out of this, the thing's going to get out too. So we're not leaving this rock. Nobody should find this place. We have no comms. I want it to just rot and die here, in my opinion, because that's what they show. He writes it in the book, right? He's doing a lot of research. He's got like pages already in his little journal about everything. So I think that personally. But yeah, him becoming a thing is not surprising because he obviously broke out. And that's the thing though, right? So he would have been a thing when he said, you know, I'm fine now. I'm better. I want to get back. Or, you know, watch Clark, like he's already trying to set up all this crazy shit, right? Oh, right, Clark. Poor Clark. Clark gets shot in the head because he tries to defend himself, right? And it's a pretty good moment. Pretty good moment when they show that the blood wasn't infected per se, and basically they're like, you're a murderer now. And Kurt Russell already knew they're not getting out, so he doesn't fucking give it. He knew he was defending himself. And honestly, I do side with Mac. You shouldn't fucking kill Mac in that situation, Clark. I think you're a little distracted, my dude.
Everybody's a little distracted, Warren.
Yeah. So everything is fucked. Everything's burning to the ground. Mac.
Everything
Mac
is fucked.
Absolutely, exactly. He's absolutely. They have Mac sitting. You know, he's just sort of resting by a section that they burned off, but it's just able to stay warm a little bit because they lit the fires. And Childs comes back out of nowhere, and I love the moment of just, where were you, Childs? I went off to get Blair. I thought I saw him run off. What happened here? Like, just trying to catch up. And they basically have a moment of like, hey, maybe you're a thing, maybe I'm a thing. Who knows? Like, they're both just accepting their fate, right? And they just sort of laugh it off. Mac's got the bottle of J&B, passes it over to Childs. Childs has a sip, puts it down. Mac has like this sort of asserting grin where he's just sort of like making a little I got you kind of a thing, maybe. And the film ends on the two gentlemen basically waiting for death in the cold. And one of the most ambiguous endings that actually requires my attention. So as far as Binge is concerned, Jack, there's a member on Binge, Pete. Pete is a guy that is like, just tell me the fucking movie. Tell me the story you want me to tell. Don't leave it to my interpretation. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm paying to see your movie. Tell me the fucking story. This is one of the best circumstances, in my opinion, of what the fuck happened. It's the whole movie sets it up properly, and it ends on, who do you think, right? Who was the thing? Do you side with Mac? Do you think it was neither of them? Do you think it was Childs, right? How do we feel about the ending? Tori, who do you think was either one of them the thing? Was, state your case.
I'll just say what I wrote down here. I don't care. I don't really care which one of them it is. I kind of take non-thing Blair's stance, and I tried to think, if I was in that position, yeah, this is a shitty situation, but I think the best result is that nobody makes it out of here alive. So to me, at the end of the movie, doesn't fucking matter.
All right, I like that.
So I didn't venture any further than that. Maybe that's the simpleton in me when watching
that's
movies.
Okay.
But
trust me, that's what a lot of people did in 1982 as well. So you're not in the minority there. Chris, what about you, man? How did you feel about this ending? How did you feel about how it was told, and how you're sitting on it? Did it resonate with you?
Well, I mean, yeah, I liked the ending. I thought, it was a good mystery, and part of what I thought made it a good movie was so engaging. You were participating in the mystery along the way and trying to figure it out in your head, like, well, who's been assimilated and so on. But my money was on MacReady.
Okay.
Assimilated at the end.
State your case.
Well,
you don't need a ton, but yeah, catch me up. So
it makes the most sense. Like, he was the pilot, right?
Okay. So you think he was the thing, or you think he was a human?
Well, I think like he was assimilated because the thing identified him as the pilot.
As the most successful
successful chance to get out.
Getting out. Okay.
But also, like, if the pilot was assimilated, then no one else could get off right?
Sure. Yeah.
So it would increase his chances of survival.
Some fifth dimension shit.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking
Although
very chess of him.
my post-movie theory discussion with my lady and I, we watched this together, and it was both of our first times watching it, was if the thing could just turn into anything, like a dog, for example, and do dog things, why wouldn't it just turn into a penguin or a fish and swim away and then rejoin some society somewhere and then like start assimilating somewhere off the coast of like Brazil, right?
So
And spread that way.
Jack, I'm sure we're going to say the same thing. So here, feel free, hop in.
I think that, this movie requires a lot of suspension of disbelief, right? And I think the thing can only imitate things that it comes across. So, trace this out. Spaceship lands on Earth, it lands into some ice, it looks like, might have started assimilating with some of the people, the dog, but like maybe it didn't come across, say, a penguin or a polar bear or any of these things that you're describing. Might be a way to explain that. Again, it requires some suspension of disbelief, but still.
So it would need it. It's like a photocopier.
Sure.
Yeah.
But made of flesh.
The 3D printer.
We don't know what
photocopier.
we don't know it's
photocopier.
actual. We don't know it's like genetic makeup outside of it already trying to assimilate with humans. We don't know that.
Right. That's fair.
So that's what it sets up.
Yeah. It reminds me of a way, like, or in a way of At the Mountains of Madness, Lovecraft.
Sure.
That's where I didn't know this was its own book. I thought that's where it was kind of pulling inspiration from.
Yeah, I mean, Carpenter's definitely a Lovecraft guy. He makes a Lovecraft movie later on called In the Mouth of Madness, so it's definitely influenced by that. Carpenter's work is overall, for sure.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that movie. So, Jack, as far as, again, I know you're on recording, so you do not have, Jack is known for, I don't want to put all the facts in front of you. Where do you sit as far as how do you think the ending was meant to be taken?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely with Tori on this. I think that when you break it down, it's kind of irrelevant who the thing is at the end. Movie's all about these characters dealing with that sort of level of trust and trying to figure out what's going on. So,
Sure.
I kind of fall on that side of the fence where I don't even really think about it very often. Having said that, if you look at this movie, to me, I think that there might not actually be any evidence for either one of them being the thing. Which, because I don't think that if one of them's the thing, then this situation occurs at the end where the two of them just meet up and wait to die. I mean, if it's only down to the two of them, why would either one wait, Just like assimilate and be done with it. I don't get it.
That's my biggest piece of like outside of the who cares is like, the one who is the thing would just start assimilating the other person who isn't the thing, right? However, I did put some theories in the notes, and the only reason why I say that is because what I loved about the movie is even your Fairweather fans or even people that just really like to dig in on every fucking frame, right? They still, because I side with the two of you as far as, it doesn't make, the rules have been applied that if you're next to a thing, you're just going to get assimilated. There's nobody else. It's well aware that it's just the two of them. It would just start assimilating. There's no dialogue between them if it was the thing. So that's my biggest push of like, no, they're just going to fucking die together. But obviously, since it was done so well, it poses people to, have some theories and put it into it, which in my opinion just gives it merit that it was done so well. If people want to extrapolate it, it doesn't matter, right? That just means it was so convincing or so like appealing that people just want to know more about such a minute detail of a movie. So Carpenter obviously famously has never said he knows the answer, but he has never, gone on record to confirm it or do anything of the sort. John Carpenter himself has not done it. There are a few theories around everything. So we can pose these out. We'll talk them out real quick. We don't have to go too long into them. Obviously, the most famous one is Child's breath and the whiskey bottle theories. So people think that Child's is the thing because we're led to believe that all of the whiskey bottles were full of alcohol or at least full of kerosene to use as Molotov cocktails that they started using at the end of the movie. Meaning the J&B was not whiskey, it was kerosene. Kurt Russell hands the bottle to Childs. He drinks it and has no reaction that it's kerosene because the thing wouldn't know what J&B tastes like. That's why he makes the smirk. So he fucking knows it's the thing, but he knows he's just going to die anyway, so who cares? As well as, if you also notice, because we don't know the rules of a thing as far as when it breathes, is there breath, literal carbon dioxide leaving your body and having a smoke cloud. If you look at MacReady, he is a puff of smoke every time he does anything. Childs barely has, a puff of smoke coming out of his mouth. So it leads to believe that Childs is the thing, and that's why, again, Mac makes the little, smirk. Now, the famous one now that I think only came out a couple of years ago, Dean Cundey, who fucking shot the shit out of this movie, the director of cinematography, who he did Jurassic Park, he did like Apollo 13, Escape from New York. He's and he's incredibly good at his job and deserves any bit of recognition he needs. He states that if you watch the movie, and I've definitely done it after hearing about this, they made it a point as far as a technique is there's always lights in the eyes of human beings just because of the way you light the scene and the way things are shot. There has to be light there. They made a specific choice that when a character was definitely defined to be a thing on screen, there is no light in their eye on purpose. Childs doesn't have a light in his eye at the end of the scene. Now, John Carpenter said that's movie making, doesn't matter. That's not why he's not a thing. It's not defined, so it doesn't matter. But Dean Cundey coming on and saying that made people like fucking lose their shit. Like, oh my God, that's a fucking amazing, like, blink and you miss detail if you're not in the know, right? Which is pretty fucking cool. Like, I think that's, pretty impressive. But Carpenter did say that someone of the two is a thing, but he never said who. But he did say someone is the thing.
And that's the same thing in Blade Runner, right?
Correct. Yep. Exactly. And he actually referenced the film saying like, oh no, we're not the first one we're not going to be the only one to do this technique. It's a great idea and it should be done more often to draw attention to what you're trying to draw attention to in a film. So I don't have a ton more, but I did want to just make sure. One question I like to ask when I talk movies, because I don't really get to talk movies too much with people, is since we all, at least overall, like the film, or in some cases love the film, who do you think like won the movie? What won you over in the movie? It doesn't have to be an actor. It doesn't have to be it could be whatever you want. What was like that? Damn, if this was missing, maybe this would be an okay movie, not a great movie. If it's okay, Chris, do you have something like that? I tried to have it in the notes to prepare you guys for me asking this question.
Yeah.
So what do you have? Like, what won the movie for you?
Yeah, I think what the movie does the best is pacing out of everything. And the tone of the movie as well. It reminded me of Alien, which is one of my favorite movies. And I feel like the pacing in that movie is done super well. Some of the effects were a little cheesy and did make me laugh, almost like a trauma movie or something.
Sure.
But it's the 80s, and this is a really good 80s movie.
Big time.
So I would certainly come back to it, I think.
Cool. So, Jack, what about you? What won the movie for you? What's like the piece?
I mean, for me, it's just the direction. I think this is John Carpenter just at the height of his powers. He makes a lot of choices in this movie that, for me, they're just phenomenal.
Yes.
He's, the restraint that he shows, the ability to not give out all the information all at once, knowing the fine line, like you said earlier, between confusing the audience and just making them feel off-put, like you said, the wide shots with like a person missing or the different changes of clothing at times. That's a really difficult thing to do, and a lesser director could get their audience confused and not on board with that sort of stuff. But I think that this is, and I absolutely love Halloween, take nothing away from it ever, but I do think that this is John Carpenter's best film. It's just, he puts it all together in a way that's, unique and really high quality. Can't really come up with an argument against it. He makes the musical choices. He did the casting. Just everything here. He's great. I think it's definitely John Carpenter, and his touch is all over this thing.
So, Tori, what won the movie for you? Or who?
I won the movie.
Yeah.
I won because I watched it. No, I appreciated, first and foremost, the writing. I thought the characters were believable. I thought the way they were written and the way they were presented helped immerse me enough into this to the point that when shit starts going bad, as Jack was saying, I'm reminded that this is more than just a story about some alien life form. It's about these people who are on a mission and they have no choice but to trust each other. And when they no longer have that luxury, that's when things really start getting iffy. And that's why this will stand out for me. That's why I think I could come back to this, because like Jack was saying, this is something that I would observe probably time and time again and notice new things about interactions between the characters now that I am aware of how it ends.
Nice. I like it. Yeah, Jack sort of stole my thunder, but I kind of saw that. I think the direction.
Yeah, sorry about that, man.
No, it's cool, man. I come from, I have a lot of friends that I would say studied film. I just watch movies, so I don't consider myself in any way an educated critique on anything. But I do know a good filmmaker when they're on their like A+ game, and I definitely believe it. And I do stand with you, Jack, on where Halloween is going to be in that echelon, right? If there's a Mount Rushmore of like fucking carved, scary fucking people in a horror thing, it's gonna, Michael Myers is fucking right there. The first Halloween is fantastic. But I would say is, if you're telling me that did someone improve on the craft they wanted to do 4 years later, yes, they did. Like John Carpenter fucking uses every piece of his toolbox as best as he could. And again, going back once I grew up and I'm like, fuck, man, this is shot really well. Fuck, like this is just, the score is so good. And again, the characters, I'm like, I just fucking remember them wearing similar uniforms or, all that stuff. Like, you don't really pick up on that stuff until you're like trying to pay attention. And this is one of those movies that the more you dig in to like rip it apart, the movie kind of plays you and is like, no, we knew you were going to do this eventually. Like I just feel like he was ahead of his time of like, this merits a rewatch and a, what's going on, a whodunit sort of thing. Like, I like that aspect of it a ton. And Carpenter was, like I said, it seems like it was ahead of its time because it wasn't really loved when it first came out. So, one final thing before we start to wrap up. And again, nobody feels like they have to, but I want to ask this question. This is obviously a remake of The Thing from Another World, which is how we adjacently got to this from Kojima's list. Is this the best remake of all time? Tori, what do you think?
I can't speak to that because one, I'm not a fan of remakes. Two, I haven't seen the original content or read the original content. I understand this is an adaptation from text too, so I can't give you a straight answer on that. Sorry.
It's totally fine. I want to get some try to get some stuff for the listeners to maybe send in. Chris, you think this is the best remake of all time?
No. It's definitely not the best
Straight
remake
to the
of all
point.
time.
So now,
no,
do you?
no.
It's a really good movie for sure, and I would say it's probably one of my favorite horror movies. Now,
Yeah.
I really like it, but it's certainly not the best remake. I don't think.
Dare I ask you what you consider the best remake?
Yes, actually, The Waltons.
That's such
The TV
that's such
show.
a Chris answer.
Because
I should have saw this
hear
coming.
me out on this. Okay. The Waltons is a TV show narrated by the guy who wrote the book that it's based off of. And the book is just an account of his life growing up. So he's narrating a TV show about his own life that's based off of a book that he wrote.
That's a pretty logical answer.
All right.
And
I see what you did there.
Yeah, it's just like so just neatly wrapped up.
I see what you did there.
It's beautiful.
As in proper Chris fashion, you logicked me to death. So I appreciate
Also,
that.
They talk about Roosevelt a lot.
Oh,
in it.
yeah.
Oh, there
you
it
go.
is.
There
And
it
the New
is. Now we
Deal.
understand
So-
where Chris comes from here. Jack, a hot take for you. Is this the best remake of all time?
Another tough question. I mean, there's so many good remakes. Immediately I think of like The Departed, 12 Monkeys. Man, it has to be in the conversation.
Okay.
I think it might be.
I would say the same.
Yeah.
I think if you just gun to my head, asked me what was the best remake of all time, that would be my answer. I'd say The Thing. I don't know if I could back it up if I had to keep fighting for it, but I think it's just a perfect evolution of what they wanted to do from the original to take someone, a top, an echelon guy of Carpenter or Craven, like these amazing guys, and Carpenter being able to do it, make it the way he wanted to do it, and be able to do that and give it not to pivot enough to be its own movie and its own theming, because part of Thing from Another World isn't necessarily paranoia and trust, and there's a lot. It's more of a creature thing, right? It's more of a sci-fi piece more than a character study that also has crazy fucking sci-fi shit going on. And I think that's a proper evolution, whereas it's not a shot for shot. It's not a paying homage to the original so much that it's just fucking redoing the original, i.e. the remake of this movie, which is apparently a prequel.
Yeah.
I think it sits at, I would probably, 9 times out of 10, I'd go, yeah, it's the best remake of all time. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, that's the tough part, because all the reasons that you just gave, I would actually put 12 Monkeys and The Departed in the same bucket. They do.
Yeah.
well, it's truth though. Like they do the same things. Like they reinvent in the same ways. I mean, 12 Monkeys is based off of a silent French slideshow, and that's taking that concept to the nth degree. To say nothing of the fact that The Departed is an American remake of I think Korean movie. Setting that in Boston, right. Inspired by the Whitey Bulger scenario and all that stuff. I mean, that's pretty impressive. It's absolutely on par with those for me, though. And there's probably a few I'm forgetting now as well.
All right. Well, I enjoyed our little conversation, guys. That is going to wrap up our spooky mini season as far as The Thing. Before we get going, though, Tori, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Young Neil everywhere, basically. You can also, for the next, 25 days at least, catch me watching The X-Files and other spooky stuff. I just want to throw out a quick reminder again. If you were into this movie, you should totally go check out that episode of The X-Files called Ice. It's a fun play on this movie without following it step by step. Would recommend.
Nice. Chris, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me on Amazon Prime watching The Waltons. But for real, you can just find me in the Discord sometimes, or really you can find me at work.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate you. I
spreadsheet.
appreciate you carving time. Chris has had a very interesting last few weeks, and the fact that we do our best to schedule these so that we can make sure Chris gets a chance to at least do proper, research and actually not make it feel like work to record with us. So we appreciate your time, my dude.
Well, I love you guys.
Aw.
Aw.
I'm here for you.
I'll have a
And crispy pop on you guys.
Wow, that was pretty late in the game, Warren. You've been sitting on that.
I had one on the left here too.
Oh, okay.
So I've been sneaking one. Jack, where can they find you on the internet?
Best place to find me is just over on BingeMedia.net. Phone number there is 708-406-9546. And we're on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Instagram at BingeMedia. Leave us a voicemail at 708-406-9546, and I pretty much guarantee we will make fun of you.
Yeah, I come from
sign
personal
me up.
experience. Yeah, it's definitely fun to call in, and I will say just the banter you guys have and the camaraderie, whatever you want to call it, where it's just like everybody busts each other's balls, but it's all in good fun and for content. And I absolutely love what they do there. I'm one of those guys that call in and get my chops busted often. But as far as I'm concerned, you can Find me at Warren Minix across the board. If you're looking for gamer tags, if that's your thing, I'm Untaggable Gamer. And my band, Spooky Forest, has an album out. You can check us out on Spotify, yada, 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 all the good stuff. Spooky Forest Band. Patreon. Now, I've been trying to be a little subtle with it, but I got to say, for just $1 a month, you could join our Patreon, which gets you into the Discord. If you want to do a little bit more than that, we give out our show notes. We do extra podcasts for patrons. We started doing live streams. We do a lot of content in there. We do a Game of the Month Club, which right now we're currently sitting on Oxenfree, which we did an episode for, and voted on by our patrons. We are now doing Bloodborne and having a shit ton of conversation about Bloodborne and the lore of Bloodborne. So a lot going on in the Discord. And again, if I would recommend, it's a great way to get in touch with us. Some of the patrons even vote on a topic for us to do for a podcast. We bring it to you. You could even get on the podcast, which we will be doing sometime in the near future based on a reward. So again, I appreciate that. It would be Patreon. We are Metal Gear Mondays. You can go to bit.ly/MGM store, which I love because we have new artwork. Sean Wilkins is the fucking best. I love the cuddly boys that we are that he drew for us. Jack, we'll shoot it in the chat for you. He drew us as like a nice anime style, but we're like sort of like protecting and cuddling each other, and it's got like a Miami Vice sort of color coat as far as the backdrop. It's fucking dope. Sean, you're the man.
Man, Jack, you'll get to see it if you hop on into the Discord. You guys,
oh, that's true.
Just to help peek behind the curtain. I hope you don't mind me calling you out on this, Jack. But while we were fucking recording this.
Nice.
Got a little notification that we have a new patron. So here's your initial patron shout out, Jack. Thanks for that.
Thanks, dude. Oh, dude. And Nate is in there too, man. We're trying to try to build it. Like sometimes it's overwhelming because we go on some real fucking tangents real quick. But yeah, dude, it's a great time. Feel free to hop in wherever you want. So thanks for the patronage, dude. You're the fucking best.
Yeah, of course. No, I like to support my friends.
So with that said, everyone, this is the end of our The Thing episode. Trust no one. And
what a cool energy to end this on.
And I think it's time to let her rip, Jack.